Have you ever wanted to launch a small creative business but didn't know where to start? Have you started but don't know how to grow it or make sales? Well, we're in the same boat, so if you want to figure it out with me and find that a lot of the advice out there is a bit broad, this video is the first in my series called Sketch the Studio, where I bring you along a journey of figuring this whole creative business world out together. This video will focus on building your own website, which is a piece of advice I often see on various platforms, especially here on YouTube. When I first started out, I avoided the task because I felt it was a bit daunting, especially with all the costs involved. Creating a website with something like Shopify or Squarespace would make my life a lot easier, but honestly, the fees definitely seemed way too high, especially since I knew I wouldn't be making any sales at first. I knew how to make a basic website, but the knowledge I gained through college was a bit fuzzy at this point. Regardless, I put my head down and tried to figure it out step by step so that maybe in the future I could help someone else. The first thing I did was browse around for a hosting provider in my budget, which made me come across Namecheap, where I was able to buy a domain and a hosting plan for a fair price. I would recommend paying for a year upfront, as it does bring down the cost a fair bit, as well as looking around for sales, as I find these are frequent on most hosting sites. After purchasing your domain name and hosting plan, it's time to install WordPress. This can easily be done by going into your dashboard, going into the hosting list, and pressing on the Go to See panel beside your domain name. In the See panel, you can go to the WordPress Manager on the left-hand side. Now you can press the Install button. Once everything is installed, we can now log into your WordPress site. Once you download WordPress, Namecheap will prompt you into creating an AI-generated site. However, I prefer to make the website by myself and choosing my own theme. If you would like to learn how to do this, keep watching. However, it's completely up to you. To install a theme, you can go into Appearance by scrolling down and then clicking on Themes. I would recommend going for a theme like Astra, which allows you to choose from a range of templates, including ones designed for e-commerce websites focused on selling art online. If you would like to view the templates available, you can visit wpastra.com. Here you can browse through their collection of starter templates, where there are a lot of free templates available to choose from. To download a theme, click on Add Theme and search for Astra. Once added, click on Activate and pick a template you like. You can always use these as a guide and customize them however you like. Now let's move on to Elementor, which is a drag and drop website builder. If you never built a website with WordPress before, I would recommend using Elementor to make your life a bit easier. Some features require the Pro version, however, it is not needed to build a fully functioning website, and there are even some workarounds that I will show you later on in this video. To install Elementor, firstly go into Plugins, and then click on Add Plugin. Now you can type in Elementor into your search bar. From here, you can press on the Install button, followed by Activate. To install WooCommerce, which is how you will be able to build your e-commerce store, go into Plugins and search WooCommerce. You can now press on the Install button and activate the plugin. Now that we have everything set up, we can start adding the pages. To add a page, you can go into Pages and All Pages. Depending on the theme that you have chosen, you will probably already have some pages available to edit. I will briefly show you how Elementor works by editing the homepage. Now you can continue by pressing on Edit with Elementor. On the side panel, you will have a selection of widgets, which you can drag and drop onto your page. If you want to create a new section, you can drop a container or grid widget before or after a container already present on your page, and pick between how many elements and in what layout you would want your content to appear on your page. If you want to edit an already existing container, you can hover over the top of the container like this and press on it. You will be given a range of options to choose from. If you want to edit your banner, you can press on Edit Container and then on Styles. From here, you can press on Choose Image and upload one or choose one from the media library. I would recommend making a banner in Canva using the custom size option. To know which size banner you need, click into your already existing banner in Elementor as if to change the image and seeing what size the banner is in, before heading to Canva to create a custom size banner. After designing your banner and uploading it, check to see if the image is sharp. If it isn't, I would recommend going back to Canva and downloading it again, but this time doubling the pixel amount and trying again. You can use this method for all other images on your website. Check in to see what size the images on the website are already in, resizing your images through an editing app or Canva, and then uploading them to your WordPress site. When it comes to product images, however, I would recommend using 1000 by 1000 pixels for all your images, given they will have to be sharp to showcase all the details of your art. If you want to change your header and footer, you can do so by adding a plugin called Essential Add-ons for Elementor, which will allow you to drag and drop content in the same way as the page. When it comes to your contact page, you might want to add a contact form, which you can easily make using a plugin called WP Forms. Now let's move on to WooCommerce. To start, go into Categories, which you can find by pressing on Products and then Categories. Here you can enter your name, your slug, which can also be the same as your category name, and your description. Now it's time to begin adding your products by clicking on Add a New Product. Here you can enter in your product name, your product description, your product short description, as well as your price, your images, and your category. Another tip is to add a plugin called AIO SEO, which will help make your content search engine friendly by providing feedback on how to improve as well as a score. Now on to shipping. Go into the WooCommerce tab and press on Settings. Now you can press on Shipping and add new zone. Here you can pick out your zone name, as well as the regions you would like to include in the shipping zone. To add a shipping price, you can press on Add Shipping Method, press on Flat Rate, and continue. You can enter your shipping price in the cost section, as well as decide if you want it to be taxable or not. Now for taxes. Depending on where you are based, you will have to research into how much tax or VAT you will have to collect on your orders. In some countries, you might not have to pay anything until you reach a certain amount of earnings from your business per month, but it's important to research this before launching your shop to ensure you aren't caught out by this later on. The WooCommerce plugin will most likely prompt you to set up your payments when you first download it. Otherwise, the prompt will appear on the homepage of the plugin where you can add the ways in which you would like to receive payments. To configure your taxes, you can go into the WooCommerce settings and then press on tax. I would recommend searching a tutorial on how to set up your taxes correctly based on your country to make sure it is done right, as every location will differ. Before launching your site, it is important to make sure that your site is fully secure. Most hosting providers will give you a free SSL certificate. However, you might have to manually change your URL from HTTP to HTTPS. To do this, you will firstly have to go into your WordPress general settings. Now you can change the WordPress address and site address from HTTP to HTTPS. Lastly, I would recommend downloading two plugins called WordFence and Updraft. One piece of advice I often hear is building your own email list, which will allow you to reach your subscribers more easily. Don't worry if you don't have an idea for a newsletter or promotional content yet, you can still set up your email list. To set up an email list, I would recommend getting an email based on your domain name first. This can easily be done through your hosting provider. To set up a sign-up form, firstly download a plugin called MailPoet. Once downloaded and activated, go into MailPoet and then Forms. Now you can create a custom form or choose one of the templates already available to you. Before launching your shop, it is important to make sure that you have all your policies in place. To do this, you can either use the guides available in your policy pages in WordPress, or you can use websites such as Termify or Termly, which will create the policies for you. However, keep in mind that there is a limit for how many you can create for free. All the links to the websites mentioned in this video are available in the description below. I hope that you found this video useful and that it will inspire you to build a website for your own creative business. Let me know what you thought about the information I shared in this video and if you would like to see more content like this. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again in the next one.